Hi, this is Hanna Podbielski, and this is my internal rotation gait pattern from the anterior view. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to observe myself walking with an internal rotation of my feet. And this will help to identify a tight psoas complex or tight hip flexors. So I'm just going to move the video forward. And we'll play it in slow motion just to get a better idea of what we're looking at. We go a little bit faster than that. And we'll turn it off.
Is that as far as you can go in?
Yes.
This is from the
Okay, now
anterior
go
view
back.
going forward, and then we're walking backwards.
Try walking normally, yeah.
And looking at it from an anterior view right
Okay.
away, we see that my legs, it's more of like a swinging motion rather than a stepping motion. My feet are not, especially going backwards, it's prominent. So this is my backwards phase. So my feet are supposed to be internally rotated, but as we can see by looking at it just right now, it almost looks like it's facing straight forward like in normal walking. So my foot is everting when it's not supposed to be. It also seems like it's a little difficult to tell from this angle, but my lumbar spine, it seems like it's curving more than normal, which would mainly be indicative of a posterior pelvic tilt. And another thing that I noticed when I was walking both forwards and backwards from the anterior view is that there's no knee, there's a little bit of knee flexion, but there's hardly any. So let me zoom back a little bit and we'll play the video.
Is that as far as you can go
So
in?
as we're looking at it right here, there's hardly any knee flexion. So let me pull it back a little bit. See, there's slight knee flexion, just a little bit. Put a circle around it just so we see what we're looking at. We're looking at my right knee right now. As it comes forward, there's only a little bit of knee flexion, which there should be almost a normal amount of flexion as in normal walking, which there isn't, which is indicative of a tight hip flexor complex. And then there's another part of the video of me taking longer steps, which the gait can, or the sciatic limp can definitely be seen a little better. So let me fast forward to that part. So as we go taking big steps, I'll play the video. It's very pronounced in this video. There's hardly any knee
You're
flexion
so tight.
as I'm walking forward.
We will go work out. I will see y'all.
And I mean, my foot is inverted a little bit, but it's definitely everting more than it should. And again, it's like a leg swing, so it's coming outside of the normal like hip flexion. Like there's like hardly any hip flexion. It's just basically swinging. And again, looking at my body from this angle, it seems that there is a lumbar spine curve. And again, as we noted, there was hardly any knee flexion. So as we play it going backwards, it's also very noticeable. So I'll play the video again.
Hannah, you're going
There's
like that.
no there's hardly any knee flexion, especially if we were looking at that left leg right there. If we watch it swing through before we start, foot seems to be everted instead of inverted. And as we go through the video, we're looking at my right knee. It's coming backwards. There's no flexion, and it's making like a swing motion, like a pendulum. And this test has shown me that there seems to be a tight psoas complex or tight hip flexor muscles as I am doing these compensations, and I cannot perform the test in a normal walking position.